today with you a little time today as we're living apart, but still staying connected. And, during this time of social distancing, YWCA, as you know, has launched YWTV. And each day we are thankful for the technology that allows us to stay connected during this time. And we've been working to bring you conversations that are inspiring and hopefully focused on self-care and ways to keep you uplifted and focused on important things at this time. And I know during this time I've been watching all of my friends and listening to all of my friends on their texts and watching them on social media doing these amazing cleaning projects. It seems to be between cleaning and cooking, I feel like that's where everyone has focused their energy right now. So when I started to see that, it was really easy for me to just think about my friend Neepa, who's joining us this morning, Neepa Sikdar from Accessible Style. If you're a friend of the YW, you are a friend of Neepa's because she supports us and we do a lot of projects together. And you know, she's the guru. She's the guru on styling and on closets and organization. And so I thought we'd have a little chat with her. So for those of you that don't know Neepa, she focuses her business on helping women update their look by connecting them with brands that work with their lifestyles and their body types. She, as I said, has been a good friend of ours for a long time. She has always supported our organization and done lots of workshops for the women in our community. Prior to starting her business, Neepa was a buyer in New York City in the fashion industry for 13 years, and she has a degree in economics from Rutgers and attended FIT, where she trained as a she trained in color analysis and business of fashion. And, Neepa, before we jump in, tell us the story about how you started your business, because I always love the story about you and the moms and how it kind of like clicked for you to pivot, as we keep saying.
Yeah, well, I know, right? Pivot is the billion-dollar word now. But yeah, I mean, just like many entrepreneurs who are also moms, it's the age-old story of wanting more balance, wanting more time with your kids. And at the time, we were living in Weehawken, and I would walk my daughter to school. So every day I'd walk my daughter to school, and I would just run into one mom after another, and it would be so interesting to me because the moms looked exhausted. They were looking like they're rushing to school. Some of them were like ready for work, but they weren't all put together, or they were still in their pajamas or their workout clothes, and they just looked frazzled. Whereas the kids looked like they could have been in a Gap ad. I always use that as the analysis because that's exactly what it is. The kids were skipping to school. They were happy, and they were, just excited to start their day. And I started watching this, and I was like, why is it that moms are making sure their kids are taken care of, but not themselves? And so that's really the idea of where the business came from, was how can I help these women to put a little bit of me into their everyday by getting ready?
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole, I knew that it was overwhelming for moms. I know that after a certain age, the fashion industry kind of forgets who you are, right? Or you feel less connected to the industry because of the fact that a lot of it's catered towards a younger clientele. But moms were the decision makers, were the people that purchased the goods. So I was like, for me, I thought, how can I connect my fashion knowledge with a service that would help women really focus on themselves? I always say I'm not in the fashion business, I'm in the self-care business.
I love that. I love that. And I have to say, I have spent time with you where you've, styled me, and it really is about the person. It's not about the looks. It's really about the person, their lifestyle, and making sure that they are feeling comfortable and good, in what they're wearing, which
Yeah.
is definitely a gift on your part and a gift for us, for
Yeah,
sure.
my goal is just to really bring the insides of my clients out. That's really what it is, because they're all so incredible, and I have the best job in the world. I get to meet so many different women and learn their stories and get to know them better because I'm in a very intimate space of their life, which is their closet.
So talking about insides out, I mean, these days with everything kind of going on in a lot of our homes, a lot of the insides of our closet are like hanging out.
Yeah.
Here in my house. I unfortunately have not started the cleaning projects yet that everyone is doing. We've not gotten there in our little, social distancing quarantine time. But I love the idea of it, and I'm hoping today you inspire me to do it. So tell us a little bit about like a closet edit, right? And like tackling a closet, because I feel like it can be really daunting. It can be overwhelming, but I know that that's ultimately where you need to start probably.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about our kids' closets, and then I'm also gonna talk about how to do an adult closet edit because there's a little bit of differences in how to do it. But the overall thing is really about um, taking the time. You don't have to spend a lot of time. I think people get really overwhelmed thinking that they have to spend hours, and then the idea of hours stresses them out. So instead, I say start with 30 minutes to an hour. For kids, like I'm standing in front of my daughter's closet. I have two children. One's 6 years old and one's a 13-year-old. So I have a teen and I have a little one. So when I do work on their closets, I work on it with them. I think it's really important to not do the closet edit for your child.
Ah, that's a great tip.
The reason because you shouldn't is because these are their things. They have to learn how to take care of their things. So it teaches them also about responsibility. It teaches them, it gives them an opportunity to play with their style. Like ultimately, right? A style is part of your personality, right? We don't all dress the same. We don't all like the same things, right? And that's something amazing about style. So give them that opportunity to spend a little bit of time with their closet. Again, like I have a 6-year-old, so for her, the advice is a little bit different, but mainly what can she do, right? What can a 6-year-old do? Well, a 6-year-old can organize shoes. A 6-year-old can put items into piles. A 6-year-old can hang things on hangers. And so when we're going through that process, I make sure that my child is involved in the process. We do it together.
Right. That's wonderful. I mean, I think about too, for some families, either this is spring break week that we're in right now, or spring break week is coming. And,
Yeah.
as much as homeschooling is driving us bonkers, some of us, maybe not all of us, but some of
Yeah.
us, as much as homeschooling is challenging, it does fill up a part of the day, right? And so when you don't have that, something like a project like this to do with your child is, really something that, accomplishes using up a good chunk of the day together and at the same time is productive.
It is. And so that's the main thing about closet editing that people don't realize is that in this time of COVID-19, of all this uncertainty that we have, this is a project you can take on, you can have control, you can have an end result, and then you feel good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think it's so interesting that there's a difference between editing a kid's closet and an adult closet. So let's get to it.
All
See.
right.
Let's start daughter's closet and see how we do it.
So my husband's going to be in the background helping adjust the camera, but so you guys can see. So every kid, everyone has different amount of space for their children's closets. Some people, the kids have to share the space, so they have one closet. My kids are fortunate. We used to live in a condo. Now we have a house where each kid has their own room, has their own dresser. So I'm going to talk about how I set up my children's closets, and then everyone can adjust to their own. So this is not a one size fits all, but this should at least help you guys. So one of the important things is I have a rolling closet for my kids. So one of the first things I talk about is having lighting. This is true for adults and kids. So I don't know if you can see this switch I just turned on? This is our light that my husband set up. It's, yeah. So he got it from IKEA, and it's very simple to set up. It's not expensive, but at least then you can see inside the closet because her room only has one window, so we don't have that much light. Another tip that I highly recommend is that you organize things by category. So in my daughter's closet, this top half is actually stuff. These are summer items that I put up top because right now we don't need to access those. This is her next size up that I put all the way at the top. And then here at her height level, really important tip is to organize the clothes at the kids' height level so that they can dress themselves. They can get their own clothing. They can help put away their clothes. So I have so I have shelving here. This is a ready-made system that you can get these at like Closet Made, Container Stores. There's a lot of sources. You can have, some of you have customized closets already. If you don't, I highly recommend some kind of shelving. So this shelving, I have them organized by category. So pants, shirts, and then here, and then on this side, if you roll to this side, the camera works, yay! Vanna White over here. Here I have 3 levels of hangers. These kinds of rods are really useful because for kids, I know a lot of my friends have them already, is that like there's different sections. We're maximizing the space here. So my daughter is a dancer, so her dance clothes are up here. This is her shirts, and then down here are her dresses. Her dresses are her favorite category, so I put them at the most accessible location.
So I have a question, Neepa, and I'm looking at your hangers. Are there special hangers? I know that some of those like felt hangers I see that you have versus like the good old fashioned plastic ones.
Yes. So hangers are really important. So plastic ones aren't good for the environment, first of all. And secondly, these hangers, felt hangers, are the best thing you can buy. They save a ton of space. They turn, the tops turn, so that you can adjust it based on how your closet works. So some people have a rod, some people don't have a rod. So this lets you adjust it. These you can find anywhere. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on Home Goods. The smaller sizes you can easily find on Home Goods. And I'll post a link into the comments of this live. I create a catalog with all the closet organization tools.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because I wanted you guys to be like, I don't want to just talk about here's a bunch of things and then you don't know where to get them. So
yes.
It's easier. But yeah, these slim hangers are really helpful. Another thing that's super helpful when you're organizing your closet are these closet dividers. These are genius inventions. Genius. So how they work, you can get them in color or white. I just keep them in white. And you can write on them. So you can just take a dry erase and write the category in there. Or you can use like a label maker and label it. So what I do for my daughter, for example, we have her dresses divided. Dresses are her favorite category. So we have I have right now seasonally appropriate dresses in the front. I have fancy dresses, and then in the back, I have her summer dresses. So I have that set up for her so that she knows where her dresses are. Same thing up here. I have here, this is her shirts. Then I have her long sleeve shirts, short sleeve, long sleeve, sweatshirts, and then sweaters in the back. The reason why sweaters are in the back is I just edited her closet and we're going into April and it's warmer, so she's not going to need it as much. Mm-hmm. So the things that are a little bit out of season, I recommend typically not to keep every season in your closet. It's just way too much. But again, it depends on your space. My kids, I don't have like their winter coats in there. I don't have, their shoes are not in their closet. Their shoes are downstairs in our mudroom. So I keep things in different areas. And I make sure that, if you have everything in your closet, it's really overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And then you can't find what you need.
And when you let me ask you a question. When you take this stuff, how out of there, what do you store them in? The stuff that you're not keeping in the closet?
So I store things in the Ziploc storage bags. And that is also going to be in the links that I provide you guys. And it's basically what it is. It's a vacuum seal bag. They come in different sizes. So what we do is we put them in there and we just seal it up, and then you can stack them. Mm-hmm. It literally lets you stack it. So you can either stack it below in your closet, or we actually put it in a separate space.
Okay. And then my other question is, especially with little kids, because I have them as well, so I'm always struggling with this. How much do you keep and say, oh, maybe they'll fit in this next year, and how much do you purge?
So when this is the next topic we should definitely talk about is the piles, right? When you're organizing closets, you have to have piles. For kids, it's different than adults. So I'm going to talk about kids first. Kids pile, I have them in 4 piles. So it's a keep pile, which is items that we're keeping. And for items that we're keeping this size and the next size up. Now, your kids, I know they're the same age and they're twins. So you don't have an older child. I do. So my next size up is the older child's hand-me-downs. clothes, right?
Got it.
Or it could be a present. People give clothes as presents, grandparents all the time, and you generally have like a next size up. And then the next one, so it's a keep, donate, or a giveaway. So obviously that is what it is. You either donate clothes that are in good condition still to someone who could use it, or you give it away to a friend. The next pile is the next size pile. Well, actually, I just talked about that. The keep and the next size are together. So the keep pile, the donate pile, the next size pile, and the store pile, which is the pile we just talked about that we're going to pack away.
In the plastic bags. Got it. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, that's interesting. And so, anything else about the kids' closet before we jump to the adult closet? I know that any other tricks I should know?
The thing to keep in mind for kids is that make it fun. So I want to talk about this because I do have kids in 2 different age ranges. And in preparation for this, I actually talked to 2 of my friends because they asked me questions. I was telling them I'm going to talk about this. So they helped me kind of like think about things in a different way. If your kids are younger, like I said, get them involved. Don't spend more than an hour on the project. That's it. Because they're going to be tired. They're going to lose attention, and you want them to enjoy the process. So spend an hour. Then take a break. If you want to do it all in one day, that's fine. Go take a break, come back to it later, or do it the next day. So that way it's not so overwhelming and they lose interest. You can make it fun by putting on music. We put on music in the background, and then like we always have fun because we find clothes. Like I have girls, so we're like, we find like, oh my God, we forgot about this. Like it's always like that kind of conversation. I let them make the decisions on things to keep. Like if we're unsure, I was like, what do you think? I want them to be involved. And then for the older kids, your teens, they're a little bit more trickier, right? My recommendation to you is have them do their closet first for like an hour. Let them have a crack at it. Let them go through it. Then you show up afterwards to help them. Because for teens, it can be overwhelming because they're a little bit older. So they take it as like, oh my God, I don't feel like doing this kind of project. And so, they may be resistant to it, but once they start and then you can start to have the conversations with them, because when you're in a teen's closet, it's a very different situation. You want to be mindful of what you say to your teen about their clothes, because the comments that we give to our children about their clothes, it sticks with them.
Yeah.
And for girls, you can talk about appropriateness and not appropriateness. That's a time where you can have that conversation. For boys, it's the same thing. Sometimes parents don't like their clothes being too baggy, or they don't like a style that their child has. So you want to be really careful when you're having those conversations with your kids. If you sense that you're getting frustrated with each other, then stop. Because you don't want this to be a negative thing, lead to an argument. It should really just be a positive experience, again, because clothing is a part of their identity.
That's great. That's great. It's a great teaching moment, it sounds like, too. It's an opportunity to be together and sharing and talking about important topics, kind of.
Yeah. And the thing is, at the end, they always find something they forgot about. So like one of my friends asked me, she's like, how do you get your kids to wear the stuff that they have? I'm like, well, 1, you do the closet edits, you find the stuff that you have, and then it's organized. And 2, you can actually just switch the order of their clothes. So like what I'll do is like, I'll put things back, and I don't do this all the time, just once in a while. Like, when I'm putting things back in their closet, I'll just rotate some things to the front. Or I'll just, again, when you have the clothes at their height level, they see it. So like, just like at a grocery store, you know how at the grocery store, they want the things that are on sale or the things they want you to buy is at that main level. Right. And then they're high and low. It's the same way you would organize a closet. The things that you want to access the most, the things that your kids wear the most, should be at a level that they can get to themselves, that they visually see it. So with my teen yesterday, we were finding so many clothes that she forgot about. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to hang some of these clothes that you have folded so that you can see it when you're in your closet. Because sometimes when you have a pile of clothes that are folded, you don't see what it is.
So I know everyone's cleaning right now because they're home and, they've got time. But normally, how many times a year do you do an edit like this, whether it's in your kids or yours?
2 times a year.
Twice a year. Okay.
Yeah. Because we live in New Jersey, so we generally have a spring and a summer. So you'll do it in the springtime. So this time of year, even if we weren't doing this, we weren't stuck at home, I recommend to my clients between March and April to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's generally when our weather is shifting patterns. Yeah, we might have a snowstorm here and there, but this is the time to really get that done. It can really it doesn't take long. In an afternoon, you can get it done. And again, in the fall and winter.
That's great. Good information, Neepa. Good information. So what's next? What else you got for us?
I'm going to show you my closet. I saw someone said I have closet envy. Well, wait till you see my closet.
Yeah.
I have actually friends who have fancier closets than me, but I think my closet is at least organized for.
So as Neepa walks to her closet, we're gonna let her do that. And I happen to have seen Neepa's closet, and you guys should check out Neepa's websites and her Facebook page and follow her on Instagram and get on her mailing list and get her e-blasts, because she always is sending all kinds of little tricks and ideas and trends that we should all be connected to. But she recently did a wonderful video about her closet edit. So I happened to get a sneak peek, and maybe some of you watching have as well. It's not like my closet, but it's quite fabulous and something to aspire to someday, perhaps. But it'll be, I know everyone watching is going to be wowed. And I have to say, I love the idea with the kids' closet of, really engaging them to that level. That was good information. And the hangers, I think, is always a good piece of information. I don't know if your closets like mine, that you have old hangers and new hangers. So that was good information. And here we are back with Neepa in another closet. I was telling them to follow you. Yes. All right, Neepa, let's see the Mac Daddy closet now.
All right, so hopefully I'm going to move so you guys can see. So my closet has when I moved into the house, it had built-ins in it. Hold on one second. Can you guys make that little? They're adjusting the lighting so you guys can see. Yeah. And can you turn that one off, please? Thank you. All right, so my closet is organized by section, so that's a little bit of a difference. Generally, our closets are bigger than our kids' closets because we go to any home. We go to the kids' rooms are generally smaller than the master bedroom. Now, with that said, not everyone has a walk-in closet. So, but even if you don't have a walk-in closet, again, with the dividers that I showed in the other closet, you can use those. My closet is organized by category. They're having a little lighting issue. Okay.
That's okay. We can see. So
okay. As long as you guys can see, because there's like a.
Okay. I know we can see because I see all the emojis with the face coming up as they're looking in your closet. So I know they can see.
Okay, so yes. So just like my closet's organized based on the things that I own the most. So yes, I own the most of shoes and accessories. Like Helen, that's how we first became friends, because we both love shoes and accessories. So my shoes and accessories have a lot of real estate in my closet. So here is my shoes. Then I have 2 sections of shoes. And then I have my purses over there. And I have everything, again, organized. I have drawers. Again, these were built in. They came with the house, but I can always tell people, where to connect. I work with closet organizers, so I'm happy to connect people. And my last closet, actually, my husband did set up the whole system himself. So it's nothing that we can't do. It's just that's a bigger project. Mm-hmm. So like I said, my shoes are a bigger part of my closet. I'm sad to admit these are not all my shoes. These are only a fraction of my shoes. I also own sneakers and flats, which I keep downstairs because I wear them more often. I also have these by category. So I have tops here. I have different types of tops. So I have casual tops. I have more dressy tops. I have my jackets down below. And then over on this side is like my athleisure casual, stay-at-home stuff. I do have casual clothes. That's a question many people about me, but I swear I do. Ask my neighbors. They're not as used to the fancy Neepa. They're used to the women wearing tracksuits and workout clothes. I do wear them. I just don't wear them as much as maybe everyone else. So, move that out of the way. This is getting in the way. Okay. So, and then over on this side of my closet, which I'll show you guys here, are my skirts, and then my jeans, which I'm showing you guys like this. So, so that's basically, oh, this was the best place to put my camera. I should have done this sooner. Okay, now we know.
So, how often do you go in and edit this? You said twice a year you do yours as well. And what are the different techniques you use in your closet versus your kids?
Well, this is a much bigger thing, right? So first of all, kids is so much easier because they're just growing. So they're going to have, you don't have to try as many things on for kids. Whereas an adult, we have to try things on because we've forgotten what fits us, right? So in this section, you still have your piles. You're going to have, the keep pile, what I call a maybe pile. That's something different from the adults to the kids. Those are the clothes that are you're not sure about. So as you're editing it, they're like, maybe I kind of like this, I'm not sure. So you put that in the maybe pile. You have your donate pile that you would that you also have for the kids. And then keep donate. I always forget. Oh, alterations. That's it. Alterations pile. So there's things in your closet that fit you, but you maybe just needs a quick little hem. So you have that pile as well. Now, when you're editing your own closet, you really have to, as Marie Kondo said, touch things. You have to go through it one section at a time. So I really, really recommend, same thing for kids. Do not take everything, put it on the bed. Do not take out a whole closet. That's really stressful. Focus on one category at a time. So let's say, for example, you're focusing on pants. So you go through your pants. You're going to go try them on. You're going to see pants are very emotional. They're the hardest category to edit.
Especially right now.
Especially right now when we're not working more than we normally would, right? So if that's going to be an emotional section, don't do that first. Do another category that makes dresses is usually the category most people have no problem doing because they're easier, right? Or tops. Tops, you don't have to try them all on because you generally, they're size small, medium, large. So you kind of know what your size is. If you're unsure of a top, then you try it on.
Okay,
but
so
yeah.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to say, my question for you is, you talk about size. Let's even top, small, medium, and large. What if were a small and now maybe you're a medium, but you really love this small top because it was great and, it's one of your go-tos. How much do you keep that you don't exactly fit in properly anymore?
Okay. So this goes back to how many years the item should be in your closet. So I'm gonna be fair right now because we're all experiencing some, weight increases. So I'll say 2 years. Generally, it should be 1 year, but 2 years is okay because we go through different hormonal changes in our body. So if you haven't worn it in 2 years, then you really need to consider if it should stay in your closet or not.
Got it. Okay.
To keep clothes. The clothes that you own have to have a right to be in your closet. They should meet you. They should be part of who you are, and it should also be things that, like Marie Kondo is right, they should bring you joy, but not everything can bring you joy because you have to have functional clothing in your closet. But you really have to take a minute to say, hey, am I really going to wear this again? If you, let's say, for example, if you're losing 10 pounds, like you're not really going to change your size. If you're planning to lose like 40 pounds, that's a different story. But even if you lose 40 pounds, you're not going to necessarily want to wear the shirt you wore 5 years ago because you're just not. The exception to this are things that have special meaning, like anything to do with your wedding, something, maybe something you keep for a significant reason, an heirloom from a family member, or something that your mom gave you, like things that have significant value is the exception to the rule. But in general, when you're in your closet, you're dealing with the things you've neglected. So it's a harder thing for adult women to deal with. Then it's so much easier to do it for your kids. That's why I started this business, right? It's so much easier to dress your kids, to buy cute clothes for their kids, to shop for your kids, right? But when it comes to yourself, you're like, oh.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's good information, the 2-year rule.
Yeah. I mean, I encourage 1 year, but 2 year is really realistic.
Do a little bit.
I don't have, there's stuff in here that I'm not wearing. So my special occasion, I'm not wearing it. It's back here. So I was looking there.
Mm-hmm.
So I will keep that for years because those are things that you're only wearing once in a while, so they can last, stay in your closet longer.
Right.
And address the maybe pile, which is something to talk about. Actually, this is the perfect time because the maybes are the things that you find in there that you forgot about. So what you can do is, remember I told you about the hangers, to use these hangers. So this is the adult version,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can turn these. When you go through a period. Now this is not a normal time. We're not going out and doing normal activities. But once this is over, try this test for 2 weeks. Start wearing your clothes, get them washed, whatever. When you return the items, you can turn the hanger the opposite direction. So if you hang things this way, you can now turn it and hang it the other way. Or you can use a divider, like those dividers, and put the clothes you've worn when you put back in the other section of the closet. What that does is it shows you what you haven't worn, because the hangers that have been turned the other way, you haven't worn. So it prompts you to actually try on the thing, to wear the things that you haven't worn. And
Right.
then after 2 weeks go by and you still haven't worn those maybe items, then maybe you should just get rid of them.
Yeah. That's a great trick. All right. So, you keep mentioning Marie Kondo,
Yes.
which I know I personally have not, read and watched, yet. So, um, but what do you think? She seemed to kind of spur, a revolution, if
Yeah.
you will. What do you think that was all about for those of us
So
that bored?
I love her mostly, but there's a couple things we disagree on. So what I love about Marie Kondo is the joy factor, right? I love that she's telling people to literally spend the time going through each section of their house. Obviously, don't do it at once, a little bit at a time, to deal with it, right? Because we avoid dealing with it. I love that she wants you to have items in your closet that you love. So many times we hold on to things that we don't like. Um, Maybe we don't want to get rid of it. There's an emotional attachment. It doesn't fit right. Whatever reason, we hold on to that stuff. So I love, those are the things that she kind of teaches people, and to live with less. Now more than ever, we're seeing the impact the environment can have, and this mindset of, do we really need all this excess that we live in? We don't. So as much as I'm someone who loves clothes, I have clients who are minimalists who don't have a ton of clothes. Each item in their clothes has to have a purpose. And then I have other clients who are more like me. I have a lot of clothes. It's not supposed to make you feel bad to have clothes. That's not the issue. The issue is the items that you're keeping in there, do they deserve to be in your closet? If they don't deserve to be in your closet, there's someone else. There's so many places we can donate our clothes or give to our friend who could find another life in those
Yeah.
clothes.
So that's a good point. I wanted to ask about that. So after you do all these closet edits and you've got those piles, right? And so the piles that you're not keeping, and maybe they're donate piles,
Mhm.
where and what do you do with them?
So the donate piles, there's a couple of organizations. I know Lori said she found a
Yeah,
local.
we're gonna post one of them for everyone, which
So, so
Friends Are Sisters for domestic violence as domestic abuse survivors.
perfect. That's exactly. So yeah, certain clothes will go for organizations like that. So Dress for Success takes the professional clothes, and then the Veterans is another organization I highly recommend because they actually give their clothes to the people. So when you're looking for organizations to donate your clothes, make sure that they're going to people and they're not getting. A lot of times, clothes can get burned and used, damage the environment. So we don't even want to talk about those people. So that's why it's great that the YW has a resource for everyone where they can take their clothes.
Yep. And again, everyone watching, we will link that resource for you so that if you are able to get involved in one of these cleaning projects and you have clothing to donate, you can utilize the resource that's there. So
And as
one
you
of
donate,
the questions, yep,
sorry, one thing I
yeah,
just want to say about the
yeah,
donation. If you put them in I put them in big trash bags, and I put them, so like I keep them in one section. I don't so if I don't do everyone's closets at once, right? So we'll maybe 1 week we'll work on one person's closet, and I start a gathering place for all the donation items, and then you can call it once and figure out a way to donate it at once.
that's great. That's great. So, Any other closet tricks before we slowly transition?
Well, I made 2 videos, so we're gonna, I can also link the videos. They go way more in detail into how the closets can be
Yes.
organized. And I talk specifically about tools that you can use to organize the closet.
Yes,
Um,
I told everyone when you were walking to your
yeah.
closet about your videos that you've been
Oh, good.
doing
Yeah.
social media that they should follow you because I know I said I had the opportunity to tour your closet with you through your videos and it's pretty amazing. And I, honestly, although my closet does not look like yours, you do pick up, ideas, from watching it for sure.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not about having a perfect closet. It's about having a closet that works and functions for you.
well, yeah, I mean, on a normal morning, right? That is not, me getting up and coming to my workspace downstairs as opposed to upstairs. My normal mornings where I'm like coming out of the house. I mean, it's obviously makes more sense if you can access your clothing and get yourself together in the morning because, it's a time, especially if you have someone else that you have to get ready in the morning, whether you're a caregiver for someone older or whether it's children, or someone else in the house that you're, taking care of just being able to access your own things and getting yourself feel put together is, starts your day on the right foot for sure.
Yeah.
So as opposed to like going like this through piles to try what happened to those black pants that I love, and then you're like 4 days looking for them, which happens to me regularly.
And this is what happens, right? So it's sort of like when I go back to the self-care part of it. So some of us have morning routines where we wake up, we might meditate or exercise or journal or do something, even if it's 10 minutes of being still. This is another 10 minutes of you getting ready, right? You have to get ready. You have to go somewhere usually. Even if you work from home, I recommend to get ready. That does not mean right now, like, are there days I'm wearing sweatpants? And yes, but I try on more days to get ready because it makes me have a sense of purpose. It gets me more productive. And in general, it just makes me happier.
Right, right. Well, and especially right now, I mean, I think we all have to find like our niche in surviving in this mode.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people watching. I'm going to encourage if anybody wants to send a question to Neepa before we close out with her, please feel free. I know that it looks like your hanger information was a big hit.
Oh, good.
And
Then they're
yeah,
gonna the links to the all the.
yeah, yeah. So we will do that. But yeah, it's definitely something now to figure out how to get yourself feeling functional, in this time. So it's definitely a process that each of us has to come to on our own. And it also depends what you're juggling in your house
Yeah.
now,
And it,
you know,
yeah.
and what's going. Yeah.
The goal is not to make you overwhelmed. I mean, everything I share, I'm always stressing that because that's where the overwhelm is what started my business. So don't make it like, for the kids, make it a fun activity. For yourself, put on music, the same thing. Make it fun. We do a fashion show when we're done with my kids because it's just like a fun way, or we'll do a little dress up. But, some people have boys, they may not want to do that. But if they do, great. Like, boys also have things that they care about. I forgot to mention that. Like, boys love jerseys. They love to collect hats or sneakers. Your kids do care about style. You just have to like start a conversation about it. And right now, do what makes you feel good. If this exercise does not make you feel good after 30 minutes, stop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get past that and actually do it, once things are back to normal, you will be so happy you did it because you'll make your mornings so much easier.
Yeah, I think we probably all had that experience where we've cleaned something, whether it's a junk drawer or
Yeah,
a closet, and
exactly.
you are like, why didn't I do this before? It makes my life so much easier.
Exactly.
So, well, that's great, Neepa. So, as we're going to close out, though, I just wanted to ask you. I mean, you're a small business owner, and this is a tough time for small business owners because a lot of you, maybe your businesses were not set up to be working exactly like this now. How are you? What advice do you have for small business owners right now to do the pivot that we all talk about to be able to function during this time?
So my business actually does work in person and virtually. It just happened that this season I had a lot of in-person clients, but my business is set up so I have a tool that I use with my clients, which is a private online closet. So I can work with them through Zoom. I can actually edit their closet just like we're having a conversation. We can do closet editing like this. I have a tool that allows me to shop for my clients and let them buy directly based on my recommendations, make outfits. It's an amazing tool. All my clients have it. They all love it. So that tool is there. For me personally, I'm getting more into it and making sure that I do it consistently, because I use it with my clients, but I haven't been marketing my virtual business. And now I'm going to do that because we have to. And I think the most interesting thing, no matter what, like I was having this talk with my dad the other day, whether you're a school, you're a small business owner, you are working in corporate, we all have to reimagine how to work going forward virtually.
Yeah.
So we have to get creative. I'm doing these video chats because I need to put myself out there. I need to be more visible, right? And that scares me, but I'm doing it because we all have to, the pivot is like, keep using that word, but we have to shift. It's a change. We have to adjust.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand how people are feeling. This is a tough time financially for our family, but I know that it's also a time to figure it out because time is the one thing we kind of have more of now than we had before. So we can't use the excuse, I don't have time. We just have to shift our time again. We can go back into the same issue like, oh, well, I still have kids to organize, and that part of it is still going to be there. But
yep. Well, thank you for spending this time with us this morning, Neepa. And I want to thank all of our viewers too for watching. And as I shared, you guys can connect with Neepa on her Accessible Style Facebook page, on Instagram. You can get on her mailing list and get her e-blasts where she does these wonderful newsletters with trends and tips. And that's where you get to go in the inner sanctum and see the closet when you're connected to all of those sites. So definitely watch them. And I also encourage everyone, if you know someone that might benefit from this video, but they just didn't get a chance to tune in while it was on. We know that during the day people are juggling a lot right now. This is saved on our Facebook page, as all of our videos are, and people can go back and watch it at any time. And Neepa, thank you. There's so many great tips that you gave us for editing children's closets and adult closets. And I just love the idea even of kind of taking that conversation with your kids, giving them the responsibility, the accountability, and using it as a teaching moment for a conversation. And the 2-year rule, I'm really going to have to go back and
I'm going to hold you to that.
search hard 2-year rule in my closet. And,
but it doesn't apply to, I forgot, it doesn't really apply to shoes because we wear shoes, shoes kind of.
I say shoes are like a collection, right?
Yeah.
So, like if you're collecting like antique cars, right? You don't get rid of one because you get a new one.
It's just not a collection.
Them. No. So shoes to me are a collection.
Shoes
that's my reasoning that I use.
But shoes that are worn down, that aren't supporting you, the heel's broken. Right. That's what I see a lot of when I go to people's closets is the shoes are not functional. They're not there because shoes will hurt you if they're not in good condition.
Yes.
So that's where we like.
That's a whole nother conversation about
that's a whole other
Beauty and the Beast. Maybe that's a follow-up. We'll see.
If people are interested, I can talk about shoes. I mean, Helen and I could we don't even have to do anything. We just talk. Shoe addicts. My parents are like, even when I was a kid, they're like, they just didn't get it. I just loved shoes. You know why? Shoes doesn't care
like
how
father. My father was really into shoes, and my father was a merchant marine, and he bought me my first pair of cowboy boots when I was like 3 or 4 years old when he was in Texas and on his way up. And honestly, that was it. And like boots and shoes were it for me from there. So every time they used to yell at me, I'd be like, "You've got no one to blame but yourselves." But anyway. But this was really great, though. Thank you so much for this time, Neepa. Enjoyed it. I'm sure you enjoyed it. And for those of you watching, again, we know people are celebrating lots of different holidays right now, and we know you're being challenged to find new ways to celebrate them under these circumstances. But we wish you lots of joy and peace, and hope that you're at least finding ways to connect with the people that you love that are not under your roof with you right now. Next week, we have some more virtual programming for you. On Tuesday, Lisa Jason will be with us again, and we'll do some work about being your own superhero and how to channel that, a little, again, self-care and pulling it out. Because right now you may be feeling fabulous or you may be feeling a little less fabulous, but we want you to feel like your own superhero. And right now, we really, have to keep ourselves emotionally strong and physically strong to get through this time. On Wednesday, Sandra Bleckman and Helene Klassen will be talking with us about job readiness and brand building. We know that a lot of people are seeking work right now, and this is a great opportunity from two wonderful experts to be getting some skills and some ideas. On Thursday, another opportunity for our parents and kids and families. Hearts in Motion will be working with us about a cardio workout that you can do at home with your kids. Um, and on Friday, we have another friend of the YW and friend of mine, Miss Sarah Walton, will be talking about women-owned business focus and how we are navigating this time. So, friends, we wish you well. We wish you a great day. I hope everyone's staying healthy and in a good place. And I know that a lot of people have a lot on their minds right now. We're with you. We're thinking of you. Try to be kind to yourself and check on people when you can. And, better days. We're getting through, one day at a time through this. Not sure how much more we have ahead, but again, tune in when you can, tune out when you need to, and make sure that you're getting all your information from reliable sources because that will also help keep your mind focused. So have a great weekend. The YW is technically closed tomorrow. So for us, and my kids actually have spring break next week. I know a lot of kids had spring break this week. So maybe we'll be doing a closet edit. We'll see. So, all right, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you guys so
See you
much.
all soon. Be well. Bye-bye.